Hi everybody. So, little sequel to my video that I announced my recipe calendar is coming out in the mail. I am now going to be cooking for you the January recipe, which is, ta-da, meatballs and marinara sauce. So I did a little prep work in advance just to make it a little more straightforward for you. So, right here, I have some breadcrumbs. And this is 3/4 cup of milk, or half a cup of milk, I'm sorry. And I'm going to be putting the milk into the breadcrumbs and just let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. And now in here, we have our breakfast sausage and our ground beef. It's actually, what I'm using is actually turkey instead, just for personal preferences. But you can use ground beef if you like. I know some people like Beyond Meat now too. So it's your all personal choice. So in here I have half a cup of salt, half a teaspoon of salt, and garlic powder, dried oregano, and fresh parsley. And over here we have our shredded mozzarella and the 2 eggs, which will be going in with the breadcrumbs and the milk very shortly. So let's get this rolling. So right now, after we let this, I'm gonna give this a little bit of a stir. Just gonna let that sit for a second, for a few minutes. Let's see. Okay, so if I used to be looking in that direction, I'm watching that clock. And I'm stirring the meat together to make it a little more well balanced and pure through there. So let's look at what our next step is going to be. So, okay, just a little. So now, like I said, you can improv this any way you'd like. I'm also going to be doing sauce as well, which that is going to be calling for the crushed tomatoes, 14 ounces, 28 ounces of tomato sauce, 28 ounces of diced tomatoes, and 12 ounces of tomato paste. All right, so let's just. So this is actually my first time doing an actual cooking video with a recipe. It's a good thing I prepped it in advance, because who knows what have been scattering all over the place, but that's always been the important thing to that. Oh, this was supposed to be going off to the side. I have all my supplies for the sauce as well. I'm gonna keep that over there separately. I think we're about 3 minutes in. So let's get moving on with these breadcrumbs. And we've got like every last drop out of the eggshell, but that's personal preference too, we might call it. Put this off to the side. So now I'm about to gonna mix these in with the Now we're going to give all this a very nice stir. And now the shredded mozzarella. Ooh. All right. Big thing is we're going to try and blend this all together very nicely balanced, make it nicely balanced and like even throughout, so we can get us some good meatballs here. Sometimes your hands get tired, which, whatever, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be everybody. It's all wooden spoon, but you know, if you're gonna make a quality product, you gotta put a little elbow grease into it, right? Mix it to a little combined. So what do you think? You see that? I think wait, let me just get the sides. Okay, I believe that we are good as far as that goes. Now, we will be taking our tray. I've already preheated the oven to 400 degrees, as the recipe calls. And we're putting this, I believe, 1.5 inch meatballs we're gonna be doing. So, wait, I'm gonna, okay. Be moving this just so I don't get, I'm doing it like that just so I don't get this meatballs all over the place. All right. Da, 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 da. No, that one came out a little bigger, but that's all right. All right, I hear you. I think that's a little bigger than we need. All right. Not that we need, that bigger than it calls for. Ooh, I'm gonna have to adjust these just a little bit because I need a little more space than I've given myself. just so I have a little more space. All right. A little gooey, but that's all right. I mean, what are you gonna, you can't keep your hands clean if you're cooking, so. Let's see. All right. All right, so part one is done. I have my meatballs done right now. I'm not gonna touch them yet just because they're gonna be a little hot. So now we're going to make some sauce. So I'm gonna read this to you really quick. We have our crushed tomatoes, 14 ounces. Tomato sauce. Right in front of my face. And the tomato sauce is 28 ounces. Diced tomatoes. Diced tomatoes was also 28 ounces. And ta-da! Tomato paste, which was 14? 12. Good thing I read that. All right, so this is tomato paste is always the fun part. It's not that bad. It's just sticky. All right, people, what's going on here? Now it's the paste again. Get this all out right now too. Good to the last drop, right? All right. But don't forget your spices. I almost said your sauce, but I meant spices. All right, so I actually did this in advance. This calls for 1/3 cup of sugar. I left that out because I don't need that much sugar. I'm all right with it. I think it's, So we have our salt, black pepper, dried oregano, onion powder, and garlic powder. So put that in. going to... We have our meatballs. Now mine are about... We're supposed to be 1.5, but mine are like almost 2 inches. So they're a little bigger than the average meatball, which is fine. It's all your personal preference. All right, and it looks like we're ready to roll. Okay, so the last part here, the sauce is done, the meatballs are done, and now I'm going to do a little meatball sandwich. So let me show you how these came out. They actually look pretty nice, they're just huge. We'll take... Ooh, we got a big meatball right here. So, I think we're going to cut this up. Gotta see how this... Yeah. Oop, this might be bigger than this roll, but working with what I got here. So, and it came out like this. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add a little more sauce to it. Ta-da! And just a little Parmesan. Oh, but yeah, that's good enough for me. So there you go. I have a little meatball sandwich now. Sort of like a meatball sub, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. And yeah, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, I'm here for you and I'm ready to take good care of you. Have a great night.